The footballing world needs saving.
Does it?
So what do? As they always do, they call Chelsea.
Do they?
They don't respect us until they need us.
Don't respect you, don't need you.
We stop the unstoppable.
Stop the unstoppable. Invincibles? Did you stop that?
It's in our history, our DNA, our bloodline, and that is why...
History, DNA, bloodline, one title pre-Roman. That same history, DNA, bloodline.
We are never bothered to answer the phone. So let me raise a hand as you...
What phone? Didn't get that one.
Raise a glass. Man City, Liverpool.
Put that
Don't
glove
worry.
away.
We'll do it ourselves.
Do what yourselves, Matisse? Do what yourselves? I told you a few weeks ago on the Big Six, you've led your fan base into a war this season that you were never ready for, underprepared. And when you go into war, underprepared, not ready, you die. And this Sunday, you're dead. Talking about history, bloodline, heritage, one title pre-Roman. You're little, you're blue, you're Smurfs, brother. Don't ever talk about history, bloodline, people calling you when needed. What's going on around here? Aside from the Roman era, and the Roman era is that when we talk about the history of football, the Roman era, Chelsea have had nothing else on their plate that they could dare to call dinner, could dare to call steak. And I'm glad post-Roman, things have settled back to what it should be. And ain't no Conference League or, backdoor entry into Club World Cup gonna change that. But I like this, people. I like that there's battles en route to this Premier League title. I'm very confident about securing our first Premier League title for 21 years this season. I'm very confident. And if you gave me an option, if you gave me multiple choice to pick, which way do you want to win it? Smooth sailing into the distance, au revoir, thank you very much and good night, or break some hearts along the way? And I think breaking hearts is the way to go about it, considering how broken our hearts have been for 20 years, or just under, considering there's some renewed hope in the last few years. But listen, let me not get sidetracked. Matisse said he's coming to drop Zakai Christmas presents. I thought, right, that's nice of you. Not sure why you're coming all around here, to just drop presents. But hey, I've conked that. And I've seen a match preview in this very room. He's infiltrated my gaff, my studio, my safe space, my peace, my quiet. Sunday, mob, 4 p.m. Make sure you're there, people. But make sure you like, hype, subscribe right now as well, people, because you know what it is. It's match preview time. I had to get that little bit out of the way because, listen, big up Matisse. That's my brother. But Sunday, dead. D-E-A-D. Caps lock on, dead. Come Sunday. But they better be. But listen, we're going to get into it. You know what the preview's about. If you're an op, you might not. Maybe you're not here for these week in, week out. But if you're an Arsenal fan and you're part of the channel, then I'm sure you know what it's about. We'll talk about press conference, hence why it's out a bit late, closer to the game. I like to wait for the press conference, see if there's anything to talk about. We're going to talk about lineups, key battles. We're going to look at form, head to head, all of that stuff. This video is sponsored by Flashscore. If you don't know, get to know. I've been using Flashscore for a long time, people. I love a sponsor that makes sense. And Flashscore makes sense. I've been using it since smartphones became a thing. And I know, there's been other apps about. But as soon as I started using Flashscore, I think uni times, coming up to, 18 years ago, 20 years ago, I didn't need anything else. So when they shouted me, when I saw the email, I thought, yeah, this makes sense. And it makes sense for you too, because listen, we're all football fans. We all follow football, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's the Ops, whether it's someone internationally that supports a more local team to them, as well as, looking abroad at players and teams that they quite fancy. Flashscore is the app, people. Forget all the other ones. Everything you need is there. You can follow a team. You can follow a player. Just put the star icon next to the player, next to the team, and that'll give you updates all day, every day, regarding that player, that team. I know a lot of people like to follow players in this day and age, so that service has been applied, and you get the usual scores, updates, goals, assists, fixtures, results, top scorers, standings, history. You get it all, people. So show Flashscore some love, and everything you see here in this video, they got Flashscore for it, because that's the app I use to screenshot, and you can verify that by going on my X and seeing screenshots over the years, every single screenshot comes from the Flash Score app. So let's keep it moving. Press conference. I listened to the press conference. The Maresca one came out first, so I listened to that one first, and obviously with the headline that Palmer's ready to start, it drew me in. But listen, the Palmer thing, if you've been watching me and my content recently, whether it's Big Six, whether it's the loose cannons, I've said that I think Palmer's going to be ready for this game. When he stubbed his toe and that whole report came out, and it was, he's going to miss this game, that game, and the Arsenal game, I thought to myself, yeah, I mean, the Arsenal game feels like it's been added onto the end. It's a stub toe. I'm sure by then it's not going to be fully healed, but man, I've played with broken toes before. So a stub toe, I think he'll be fine. And Maresca confirmed it. No dilly-dally about it. He said he's ready to start or come off the bench. And whether the gusto in Maresca saying he might start the game or not is more tactics to sway Arteta's mind tactically with our selection and our lineup, or whether he is actually ready to start. I'm not too sure on that. He's been out a little while, a couple months now, if I'm not mistaken. I think September was his last appearance in a Chelsea shirt. So to come straight back in a game with this intensity, physicality, what we do, I'm not too sure, but we'll see. We'll see. So Palmer's there or thereabouts. Asked about Estevao as well, and he said he's giving him a headache, but that's what you welcome as a manager. Of course you do. If you start a player that doesn't often start and he's scoring goals or lighting up the pitch and getting the fans off their seats, it's giving you a headache. And that's what Estevao's been doing. Fair play to him, young kid from Brazil, under the radar over the years. Little hype about him, but he's showing out, especially for someone his age as well. And when asked about Arsenal, he's the first thing he said is they defend fantastic, very, very well. And he added, we've got weapons in attack, but that was more an afterthought. Obviously, everyone tends to praise our defense first and foremost, and then the attack is the supplement to that, which has been improving over the weeks. And going on to the Arteta press conference, not much to take out of it. It was a good press conference, light-hearted. He seems confident. On the Trossard availability, I'd say he's available. Arteta said he needs another day, but he also used words like he seems okay, and there's some optimism that he'll be available. Whether he's available to start or not too sure, considering the nature of the injury or the pre-injury, whatever you want to call it, the concern that made him come off the pitch against Bayern Munich. We should be all right. Martinelli coming off the bench to score, not the first time this season. Madueke coming back from injury to score a goal as well, an important goal. So we've got options, and I think considering the strength of the unit in totality, all 11 players on that pitch, we've got the ability to mix it up on that left-hand side. I think Trossard's done enough to deserve his starting role recently, but at the same time, I also think Martinelli off the bench and Madueke in glimpses have shown a little of something else, which is welcomed. That's what a squad's about. Gyökeres and Havertz, this is the one I was really looking out for. All he had to say was, we have another day tomorrow. I expect to see one of them on the bench. I really do. I'd say Gyökeres, but I'm basing that off literally nothing. Literally just the fact that Gyökeres has been out shorter period than Havertz has been. And with Havertz, it's a big injury. With Gyökeres, it's more of a what's kind of going on injury under the, with the muscles and whatever else. So if I'm gonna, place a bet on one being available, I'd say Gyökeres, but I'd say neither are available to start. At the very least. So no real news there. Another day tomorrow. We'll see. Jesus Ranieri got minutes confirmed by Mikel Arteta behind closed doors. Jesus because he's returning from another big injury, and Ranieri because he's not been getting the minutes that Mikel used the words he's wanted. And I guess Mikel's wanted too, but Ranieri's putting himself forward to make sure he's sharp enough by playing these behind closed doors games. That's always welcome too. So from the press conferences, not much to take, I'd say, in terms of lineup when we get into that later. Odegaard's got some minutes. Madueke's had a couple games now getting some minutes. And Martinelli's come off the bench too to get some minutes, score a goal. So these are the players that entertain for a starting role when I get onto lineup later. I'm not going to entertain anyone else outside of that, even though I think there will be a surprise or two, hopefully. Getting into the details around it, it's first versus second. Obviously, that's the build up. That's part of it. It's not only that, but yeah, as you see, the table suggests, this is a big match in the title race. If you believe there's a title race this early on in the season, first versus second. Looking forward to a big game. Points: 29 points for Arsenal, 23 points for Chelsea, 6-point difference. A chance to make it 9 points for Arsenal, a chance to cut it down to 3 points for Chelsea. Goals scored, we've scored one more, 24 goals to 23. Goals conceded, we've conceded 5 less. The best defense in the league with 6 goals conceded. Chelsea have conceded 11. So that's the table as it stands. It's still very tight in and around that second, third spot till about 7th, 8th. 1-2 game swing, either which way for a variety of those clubs in the mix, and the table looks very different in a couple of weeks. So that's why I mentioned title race too early, because the table is still forming. Arsenal are there and will be there. I think in terms of the pack underneath, this is a big chance for Chelsea to stake a claim. We will be there too in their eyes, but no one staked that claim yet. Liverpool, Man City, and now Chelsea with the chance. Chelsea, you must shout the ops as everyone twerks and bends their back for them. Like they've been twerking and bending their back for Man City and Liverpool over the last few weeks. Are you not embarrassed? Are you not ashamed? Is your lower back not hurting? It's all mad. Your kneecaps not feeling it? I don't know. And I'm not just talking to Toby here. I'm talking to many people. Some of the ops are watching right now, and I can see the shame in your eye. You've been twerking for the ops. It's not a nice feeling, is it? Especially when they're letting you down. Imagine getting on all fours and being let down. It's crazy. It's crazy. But sorry, form. Obviously, I got to look at a little form, and the form's identical. If we look at the last 5 games across all competitions, 4 wins for Chelsea, 1 draw, 4 wins for Arsenal, 1 draw, both draws being 2-2. Chelsea's coming away at Karabag in the Champions League. Ours coming away at Sunderland in the Premier League. We've both beaten Burnley 2-0 away from home in the last 5. They've got an emphatic win against Barca 3-0 at the Bridge the other night. We've got an emphatic win against Bayern Munich 3-1 at the Emirates the other night. So the form going into it is very similar. We beat Tottenham 4-1 at the Emirates. They beat Tottenham 1-0 away at White Hart Lane. So it's an interesting one, because when I look at the form, in the last 5, they've actually conceded less goals than us. The only goals they've conceded, the 2 against Karabag. Aside from that, it's been 4 clean sheets out of the last 5, whereas we've conceded 1 against Bayern, 1 against Tottenham, and 2 against Sunderland. So in the last 5 games, we've conceded 1 more goal than Chelsea. So even defensively, I guess they've improved things, but defensively is where I look to really put them to the sword here. There's advantage to be taken from their backline, and I'm hoping that our attack does that. But yeah, form-wise, 4 wins, 1 draw, identical form going into the game. And head-to-head over the last 5, Arsenal have won 3, drawn 2. Those draws both come in at Stamford Bridge. We actually haven't won at Stamford Bridge since the 6th of November 2022. That's our last win at Stamford Bridge, just over 3 years ago now. And how did we win it? 1-0, Saka corner, Gabriel header. It sounds familiar. That's been cooking for a long time now. Sometimes you forget how long. And when I done a little research into the last win and I saw that was the way we won it 3 years ago, yeah, finally those ingredients seem to be leading to where it should be leading to when you've got a defense as formidable as ours. Talking about our last win at the Bridge, 2022, November, just over 3 years ago, Chelsea's last win against Arsenal at Stamford Bridge goes even further back, before the Europa League final, 4-1 win in Baku. Their last win, Chelsea's last win at Stamford Bridge against Arsenal Football Club, was the 18th of August 2018. A 3-2 win. Mad. I can't remember off the top of my head the ins and outs of that game. I really can't. Alonso scored. I remember that. But yeah, that's all to say. We've got a very, very good record. They've had 1 win in the last 10 games against Arsenal, and we just need that form to continue, regardless of any upturn in quality, consistency. Chelsea were never meant to be up there this season. We were meant to be up there this season. We were meant to be getting our, foot over that line this season. So at this point, it's about swatting Chelsea away and putting them back in their place this season. That's not to say they're not building something there. They've actually improved a hell of a lot. I think when you look at the players across the board, much has been said about Rice versus Caicedo. And moving into key battles, I think Rice versus Caicedo is key. I'm not going to say the key, because I think there's other key battles on the pitch for both sides that if one can cause hella problems even without that Rice Caicedo factor involved. But listen, the midfield tends to dictate who wins a game, to dictate who holds onto the ball more, who creates the better, the bigger chances. Generally, yeah, I know there's results, performances, statistics that might go against the grain, but Rice versus Caicedo, Rice in the 8, Caicedo in the 6, they're gonna come up against each other a few times, And in terms of the Premier League, listen, with Rodri, since he's had the big injury, since he's failed to return and come back consistently, he's kind of left out of conversations of the best midfielders in the league, and I get that, but at the same time, Rodri, Rodri's different level, and he's proven it to the point of getting over the line in the biggest of ways. So putting him aside, this is the midfield battle everyone wants to see. It's primed, first versus second. The form is identical. Everything is set up for a great game and a great battle. So Rice versus Caicedo, I'm really intrigued to see how this one goes. I think Zubimendi plays a key role for Rice, but I think Enzo, especially recently, plays a key role for Caicedo too. Listen, I've been a big critic of Enzo. I think Caicedo's managed to find his feet a lot sooner than he has, but people will argue he came from another league and he was very young without much games under his belt prior, so it's taken him a little while longer. But Enzo, there's a threat there that I think we've got to manage, but the Rice versus Caicedo is the star-studded battle that everyone's talking about. Carragher's getting onto Rice, trying to get answers out of him, and debates on X, Instagram, YouTube, right here, comment section. It's all about Rice, Caicedo, Rice. Both quality, both world class for this day and age, in my opinion. And Sunday, both will have a big part to play, in my opinion, in getting a W for either us or Caicedo for them. But we don't want to think about that right here. Turkish LDN, like, hype, subscribe, do all of that stuff. But Rice, Caicedo aside, I'm looking at Saka and Cucurella as well. Up and down, I'd say, in terms of they've played each other quite a lot over the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years. How long Cucurella been at Chelsea now? Can't really remember, but it's been up and down. Within games too, not even game to game. There'll be patches in the game where Cucurella's locked down Saka, but there'll be moments where Saka's pulled it out and done a little shoulder shake and beaten his man and got into space, got into the box and caused damage. So that battle's always an interesting one. Cucurella got man of the match, or not man of the match. I forgot what he got. Well, I mean, he got a lot of praise off the back of the Yamal lockdown against Barcelona. So he's going in on form over the last 18 months. He's improved a hell of a lot in terms of at this level. And Saka, in my opinion, has also been improving over the last few weeks too. The goal against Sunderland, the goal for England, being more involved in terms of across the game. So yeah, I'm looking at that battle too. And I've picked one in attack, Saka, Cucurella. I picked one in midfield, Rice, Caicedo. So I'm going to pick one in defence for us, Arsenal. But this is what I am. I'm Arsenal. Calafiori, Esteval. Whether Esteval starts or not, I'm not too sure. But you could put Neto there too, because the way Calafiori plays, there tends to be a lot of space on that side if you can get the ball there quick enough. I cast my mind back to, and I know this is first game of the season, but Mbomo against us at Old Trafford, he was in acres of space quite a few times in that game. Nothing came of it, and Calafiori in the end did get back and play his part in winning the ball back and nullifying any threat. But Esteval at this moment in time, the youthfulness, the agility, the confidence, his striking ability, I think we don't want to be giving him much space. So Calafiori against Esteval, and even Neto, who's been playing better over the last few weeks, I'd say. Even Neto, the way he plays, I mean, if he gets space, he's going to run into it. That's just what he is. What he does with it at the end of it, that's the problem for Chelsea. But both Esteval and Neto, to a lesser extent, do pose some worry, some threat against Calafiori, who, listen, you might see him at right wing at times in the game. So yeah, that's the key battles for me. I've picked one from each area of the pitch from an Arsenal perspective. Looking at top scorers, Pedro, Eze, Neto, Enzo, and Gyökeres all got 4 goals. No one's got more than that across both sides. Pedro's best of the lot with 3 assists on top of the 4 goals. Eze's got 2 assists on top of the 4 goals. Also coming into the game on some good form too, Eze. And his name will be mentioned in the lineup because I'm going to pose you guys a question. Just below the 4 goal, top 5, you have Trossard on 3, Caicedo on 3, Saka on 3, and then you have Rice, Zubamendi, Rice, Zubamendi, and Timber. Between them, they have 6 goals, 6 assists. So yeah, that's the key players in terms of end product, goals, assists. Most of them are going to be available. And looking at the lineup, let's get into it. Like, hype, subscribe, and make sure you show Flash Score some love, people. There's a link in the description. Download the app. It's free. I'm not trying to sell man anything here. I'm just trying to let you know it's an app that I use and it's an app that makes sense. So why not? Even if you use another one, let's go and convert. Why not? Raya in goal. Timber right back. Saliba right centre back. That's the easy part. I put in Capier back in at left centre back. I just like the aggression and the ability to move forward. At the same time, I just talked about their threat potentially with Esteval, Neto on that right hand side. But yeah, I'm gonna go Hincapié. Let me know if you'd go Mosquera, Calafiori at left back. So that'll be my back 4. There's some debate to be had. Maybe Hincapié started against Tottenham, Mosquera started against Bayern. Both played well. Both had little to deal with, but both move on to a big game with both expecting to start the game or hoping to start the game. Zubamendi, Rice in midfield, and this is where I bring Odegaard's name in. Do we make that change? He's our captain. When he last went off injured with that knee injury, it was probably his best form. It was only a game and a half, but it was probably his best form we've seen from him in a little while in terms of his aggression in the final third and being quick with his intent and passing forwards and between the lines and through balls. Do you bring him back in? But Eze's been playing very well. That performance from Eze against Tottenham, the second ball winning, the ability to. That's the difference between Eze and Odegaard for me. Odegaard gets into similar positions to Eze with the second ball. Against Tottenham, Eze buried. He didn't bury all of them, but he was a threat for most of them, and he did get a couple in terms of being that runner into the box or the one that's the second layer of attack. So I wouldn't change it up. I'd leave Eze in that 10 role and I'd move on to the front 3, Saka, Marino, and I'd bring Madueke in on the left. Madueke pips it for me in terms of Madueke Martinelli, reason being because there's going to be a little something there. Chelsea, they're going to be onto him. I like how Madueke is kind of brushed off the pressure that was put on him coming into Arsenal in terms of why we signing a Chelsea player. Is he good enough? He's not good enough. He's a reject over there. Yes, I played my part in that, not in the abuse or the petition or the hashtag and all of that. That's a different level. I like how he's brushed that off and looked good. He's come back from injury and he scored a goal. I want him to look better. And I think Chelsea's a great platform for that because there should be a fire in his belly to be like, yeah, you man acted like I'm a nobody. You man acted like me leaving, was a good thing for you lot. Well, if I'm Madueke, I'd be like, well, it's time to find out if it was a good thing or not. So that would be my lineup. Now, obviously, there's some questions there. Centre back, Hincapié, Mosquera. Would you bring Odegaard back in? Would you start Martinelli or Madueke on the left? But if you bring Odegaard back in, does Eze go on the left? So many questions. We'll find out the answers come 3:15 Sunday PM UK time. Big up the international fans. Hit the like button, hype the video. Make sure you are subscribed. Big Six mob. Don't forget that as well, people. And yeah, listen, I've been waffling. 25 minutes in. This has been a hell of a match preview, but it's going to be a hell of a game, people. Arsenal, Chelsea, prediction for me. I'm going to go 3-1. I'm going to go 3-1. But there's a little part of me. That's just been telling me. Now, I know that could be a sign of a madman. there's a little part of me telling me this game's going to be done at half time. But that might be Irish London. That might be Irish London. He's a little looser. Not in that way, in the other way. Loose cannon. That's what I mean. Big up the loose cannons. Make sure you go show that some love as well, people. Matisse was on that. Iron Man, Thanos settings. We had Harry Potter and Shaft in the building as well. But listen, love for the love as always. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Go over there and watch Matisse's preview as well, because it was a good one. I'll give him credit for that. But yeah, it's time to clap back. And I know the video's been blurring in and out. It's doing it again. It's doing it again. Hopefully, people that doesn't, because I know, I'm a handsome man. So you don't want to see the color cut clarity live and direct, but the blurring is just, it's not blurring now, so you can see it live and direct. Hit the like button, hype the video, like, subscribe, do all of that stuff, people. I'm waffling now. Peace. I'm out.